All right, never mind. I guess my computer's just saying something stupid.
All right. So, anyways, last time, a group of questionably competent new parents decided to try and figure out what to do now that their lives are somewhat back on track. Elizabeth's tried to discover something, but hasn't seemed to find much. Having Jing reconnected with his family, his visit to his mother more unnerving, his visit with his father pretty okay. And Rainer had quite a bit of his world rocked, and not in the good way.
That's putting it freaking lightly.
Recaps. Anyways, to bring ourselves back in, it is the dawn of the time when Lisa said she might have something.
Wait,
That morning,
I thought we were at Jing's parents' house and we had to be home by 4.
I think only Jing went there.
No, I was there. I was playing with Elizabeth.
Oh, yeah.
Lucy.
Oh, yeah. So you're there. Sorry, I forgot that portion. You're there, so everything. So what happens is dinner passes. The day passes, and for the most part, it's enjoyable. Not bad, but not particularly noticeable either. Anyways, when you get back, Jing and Rainer, you find yourselves outside of the Nightingale Manor, and now you need to head back. Lucy is also completely tuckered out and is currently asleep. Jing, you're carrying her.
On the way back then. Tally-ho.
So, you two walk back in relative silence. Do any of you want to make conversation, or do we just head back?
Rainer has nothing to say.
Cricket.
All right. Elizabeth, did you want to do anything tonight, or?
No.
All right. Then, as of everything, you two eventually get back to the house. And both of you head to your rooms. Do any of you want to do anything before retiring for the night, or?
Are we not going to find out why we had to be called back 2 hours earlier than normal?
Curfew, perhaps?
Rainer is going to meditate on his world being torn asunder in the passing of 10 seconds.
Roll a d20. You do this, and while you don't feel any form of closure trying to meditate, mull over things. You at the very least do settle any disquiet in your mind for the moment. Jing, you want to do anything?
Nope, I'm good.
All right. Anyways, the night passes, and Rainer, are you staying up late, or do you just go to bed after the meditation?
He's gonna stay up for, let's say, till like 2 o'clock, and then try to go to bed.
All right. Roll a perception check. Do it.
I need to stop.
Perception checks is your version of the mimics, isn't it?
Considering mimics was my version of the mimics.
Roll the perception.
I know, I was opening. Yeah.
At around, and you check your watch, 12:30, you hear a commotion. It's coming from inside the manor. You can't hear much given your location, but it sounds like it's coming from the first floor. And it sounds to be 4 people. And you can barely make out that there's 2 males and 2 females.
Gonna get my stuff and stealthily go down to figure out what the frick's going on.
Roll a stealth check. The door, as you open it, it gives a rather loud creak. You freeze for a few seconds as the voices downstairs stop as well. You hear some murmuring. Then the voices continue moving. You quickly hear, before you can move again, you quickly start hearing footsteps approaching. You quickly hear footsteps on the stairwells.
Closing the door, locking it, and keeping an ear to it.
All right. You eventually hear, you eventually do hear the steps come up to the top floor. And it appears it is indeed 4 people still.
Any voices I recognized?
You recognize Reginald, the butler.
God damn it. I was right to lock the door.
And it seems he seems to be grunting slightly. There's also a slight, what's the word? Pause between his steps, almost as if he's either carrying something or limping. You can't tell. It doesn't sound like he's in pain, more just exerting himself somehow.
So he's possibly carrying something.
You also notice that it's decreased from 4 to 3 sets of footsteps. You do hear another voice. You don't recognize it, but it sounds like an older woman. She appears to be either reassuring somebody of something, or you're not sure. Again, the door's kind of thick, so it muffles quite a bit of sound. Eventually, you hear a door, and let me roll something real quick. A little more muffled, but you do also hear the squeaking of a door opening. You hear the footsteps enter the room. The door shuts. You don't hear anything for a while. 5, 10 minutes pass. Then you hear the door open again. It being slowly closed. And now it's simply Reginald and the other voice. Now it's the Reginald and the other voice you heard before. Reginald's footsteps are returned to a much more steady gait. They pause at the stairwell to discuss something. You can't make it out, but you do know they're discussing something. And then they descend the staircase again. You hear nothing.
Oh, that's suspicious. The only thing it could be bad for is me, because he would not endanger this house, considering how he cares about Lisa. I am not going to do anything. I'm going to go to sleep, because honestly, I have no idea what the hell I could even do at this point.
All right. You go to bed. And you sleep till morning. You all wake up, and Rainer, you notice something. It's a bit later this time. Before the servants call you down for breakfast. Instead of it usually being the 6, you're actually summoned with the rest of the family at 8. And even then, it's actually delayed slightly to 8:30. As you all descend the staircase, Jing and Elizabeth, you're also woken up later than usual, and you feel a bit better rested for it. You're all taken down to the main dining hall, and a much more traditional rectangular long table has been set up. It is a much more finer crafted table than what you've seen set up in the dining hall before. Inlay of gold and extremely well-crafted red pine. The table is possibly worth more than anything you guys have on your person now. So,
Are we given suits for fancy breakfast? Or
yeah, and the breakfast is much fancier than anything you guys. It's like before, if things had been.
are there waffles?
Yes, there actually are waffles. And basically, like full Belgian waffles here.
Oh, I love Belgian waffles.
And Lisa,
Is there chicken?
No, there's no chicken.
Damn it.
Chicken and waffles.
You know it, baby.
But
You were gonna say something. Lisa did something.
no, it's that you're also joined by Lisa, her sister, and a few other individuals none of you recognize.
Oh shit! Is the whole family here?
If you want to try and discern that, you can make a perception check.
Yes, I would. Because there's no harm in looking.
This would be investigation, I believe, because you're actively trying to compare two things or find something out.
Investigation. Of course, it's investigation. I should have just said who they look like. That would have been perception.
Yeah. Elizabeth, do you want to try and figure this out, or do you just want food?
Try figuring it out.
All right, roll investigation.
Oh my god!
Elizabeth, you just want food. You don't give a shit about anybody else. You just want food.
Is that the second 0?
I think.
I have a lot of
Jing, you're more occupied keeping Lisa in check. She's never been this well rested before, and she's a bit more energetic than usual. You do get a general look at them, and Lucy, sorry.
Lisa is at the table already.
Sorry. There's so many L names. I've sort of made this bad for myself.
You need to put them on a notepad.
I did.
Draw pictures.
Anyways, yeah, Jing, you get like a cursory glance at the other people, but You don't know them. You don't care. You need to take care of the daughter. Raynor, they don't look related, though. All of them are elven. There's
elven, not half elven.
all of them have some elven features. You didn't get a good enough look.
Is that
without it
enough
seeming
to see if they have facial hair?
They're all female.
Okay.
So
They
that
don't
would be a
have
no
facial
regardless. But the point is, essentially, maybe not. You don't know. But a good feature is that they all seem to have elven features of some kind. Whether it be the somewhat elongated face, the pointy ears, the more colorful irises, or just a general sort of sense that they seem to be of elven blood of some kind. But that's all you can figure out about these people. And there's two others. Both girls, and both seem to be about Lisa's age. And they're situated quite a bit further down from you, so that was why it was kind of hard to tell. And they seem to be talking.
Are they all female?
All three of the people that you were looking at, Lisa and the two others, are female, yes.
Oh, fuck.
But the point being, both of them, one of them has a slightly darker skin complexion. It seems more tanned. It's like not ebony, it's just more tanned, like she's just been in the sun longer. Yeah, sort of like you. The other one is pale by my Tyrell standards. Like she is a ghost, essentially.
So, Caucasian.
Yes. And I'd say almost bordering on albino. Yeah, the other girl does not look like she has a healthy complexion whatsoever. Seriously, that woman needs some sun. But all of them seem around Lisa's age, or at least her height. Given elves, age is kind of screwy. But they're situated quite a ways from all three of you. And
they're on the left side of the table. We're on the right side of the table.
Yeah, they're on the left at one end. You're on the right at the other. And they're talking in a low enough tone between all three of them that you can't really make it out other than just muttering, then topped off by the occasional fit of giggling between the three of them. And Lisa is
to figure out what they're saying.
Roll a perception check.
Come on, my +6, don't fail me now. Damn it!
No. All you can tell is that it's definitely something interesting, because even Lisa's involved. And rather animated.
That is probably about you, big dog.
Jing, you don't know anything.
Yeah, you know less than I do.
Anyways, about 10, 20 minutes come pass. You all eat a good meal. And then the doors open. Reginald first comes in, and he's holding the door open for somebody.
Oh, God.
Two figures enter. Both are wearing somewhat plain clothing. It appears the stuff was just thrown on at, like, last minute. Even though it's, like, plain clothing, like, there's no embroidery, it's still a very fine quality. You can tell almost right away this is either silk or very well-maintained leather. One of the two. You're not really sure. But, like, there is... Even for, like, plain clothes, this stuff puts most of what you guys can wear to shame. Anyways, well, probably not Shang. He might have access to clothing like this, but both are older individuals. It's like the man, it's a man and a woman. The man is somewhat well built. He's a bit husky, but he seems to carry himself in a way that almost seems to exude a sort of aura of confidence, I guess, would be the best way to put it. He's got a clean-shaven face. You think you see a bit of almost a 5 o'clock shadow starting to form, but he's definitely a human. Auburn hair, and he's got a full head of hair, too. He's got features that seem to naturally form into a smiling, jovial face. And he seems to be the more animated of the duo. The woman is about a head taller than him, is wearing a dress, which appears to be made of silk. And she seems to be having a very bad morning. Her almost dirty blonde hair is like tousled and like barely contained in the ponytail she has it in. Her eyes are like very, very dull, almost as if she's not focusing on anything, but she is giving the man some amount of attention.
Oh my god, are these Lisa's parents?
They entered on the upside of the room. Do you want to make a perception check to see if they are?
Sure, why not? I'd like to know what I'm getting into right now. Was perception, you said?
Yes, perception.
Damn it.
The woman does seem like a much older and much more developed Lisa. Though this could just be another sister for all you know. Point is, you're not sure. The man is definitely human. The woman is most assuredly an elf. But you do notice there is a general sense of like, even though these two seem to be almost polar opposites, there is a certain amount of attraction between the two. Like these two are either very happily married or that is one hell of a good affair that's going on.
Wow, man.
That's sort of the general gist you get, and that's because you got a somewhat bad perception.
Yeah.
So, as far as you know, that's what happened. That's what's going on. But the woman is most certainly related to Lisa. The man, you really don't see it. Yeah, no, you don't notice anything else. The man and the woman sit on the right side of the table, closer to Lisa, and they're about halfway between Lisa and you guys.
Wait, they're in the middle of the table?
They sit about halfway, yeah.
That's odd.
Oh, no, wait, they sat on the left side, not the right. Sorry, got things mixed up. So they'd be facing you.
I distinguished left from right in this narrative. But
yeah, no, you got me mixed up there a bit, but let's just roll with it. Okay, yeah. So Lisa and the two new Lisa, the two elf girls, and the two new ones are sitting on the right side. You three are sitting on the left. Well, you four, including Lucy, are sitting on the left. Eventually, a few others filter in. They seem to be... These people have obviously no relation to Lisa or anybody that might be permanently living in this house, because they've come in all different skin colors, all different races. There's four others. One dwarf, a human, a half-orc of all things, and a dragonborn. The human has a very dark complexion, like almost bordering on ebony. The dwarf is actually clean shaven and has this long braid, and he's a male. The human's male, the half-orc is female, and the dragonborn is female. They all sit down, and the dragonborn and the human seem to be having a morning similar to the elven woman that came in with the man. And the dwarf and the half-orc look like they just had a great night of sleep. You don't know much else. They all eat. A few words are exchanged between them as they took up places on your side of the table, but more towards the family. So they tried to keep their distance from you. Not so much out of like disrespect, more and I don't know these people. I'd prefer not to stand near them in the morning. Anyways, what happens is the four of you eventually, breakfast is brought in, and it seems to go on for quite a bit longer than usual. Now, let's see. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, there are now 13 people sitting around the table. You fill up about a good portion. There's 4 to 5 seats left open, and it's like single gaps between people, between groups. But eventually, the breakfast foods are stopped serving, and it appears the human male, the auburn-haired, wants to say something. He stands up, raises his glass. Ladies, gentlemen, he looks to you. His gaze lingers a bit, almost as if a bit confused, before a spark of recognition lights up in one of his eyes. And guests, I hope that my hospitality has been up to your standards. And I hope that any relations of business that are fostered in this house may be long, fruitful, and prosperous for all parties. Long live the Queen. May the sun shine eternal. Blessings. And with that, a sort of similar cheer is met with the other 4 and even Lisa and the others. They don't expect the 4 of you to repeat it. Lucy does chime in with a blessings as she lifts up a glass and then chugs it. You get the sense she didn't know what was going on. She just wanted to be included. But then the guests slowly start to filter out, almost until it's the man, the woman, Lisa and the 2 girls, and you 4. The man speaks up again. If you'd like, you can come closer. I'd prefer not to have to raise my voice whenever I wish to talk. And the woman chimes in. Given how much you talked last night, I find that somewhat hard to believe. The man kind of chuckles back. But please, come over.
Guess, do we still have our plates in front of us?
No, everything's been cleared out at this point. Rainer, you did manage to snag 1 waffle and are just absentmindedly nibbling on it in your hand.
I finish that quickly and scoot down very slowly because I'm very confused what is happening right now.
Actually, the seats are just open. I'm guessing you all moved down again?
Are these big benches or seats?
There are seats, individual seats.
Okay, so that idea wasn't right. Oh. Guess I'll just muddle with everyone else because I'm very scared of what's going to happen right now.
How do the so Elizabeth, Lucy really wants to move over to a seat closer to the other people. Jing, Elizabeth, what do you want to do?
I'll just walk over.
Do you remain standing or do you actually sit down?
Yeah, sit down.
Okay. Jing?
I move Lucy over and I stand behind her seat, leaning on it.
Okay. Lucy sits down in a seat, and the way it goes is it's Rainer, Lucy, and then Elizabeth, and it's hilarious because Lucy her head barely reaches over the table.
She really is cousin it right now.
Yeah, no, and Rainer, you sit down. Rainer, you look down, and her feet are just swinging off the seat. She barely. This seat is big for her, is the general sense you get.
I give a aw smile.
Yeah. So, Lisa and her 2 friends, you guess, also move closer, and Everybody roll perception checks. This is more just to see what the general mood of the room is, and just to see like what everybody else is doing.
Wow!
Okay.
Jing, from your perspective, you see the following things. Firstly, the two girls flanking Lisa seem to be staring at Raynor.
Of course they would be.
Raynor, you're oblivious to the girls staring, but you do notice that the man is appraising you. And while it's similar to Reginald's, it's almost sort of it's a much more warmer appraisal than what Reginald gave you.
Reginald gave me death. Anything above that is warmer.
Okay, if he gave you death, this guy's giving you like eternal life, basically. He's staring at you like he's basically staring at you as if you were a son.
What?
Take that as you will.
What?
The mother seems to have a slightly more withering stare. But her eyes are also flitting towards Elizabeth every once in a while. Elizabeth, you really don't care. But Jing, you also notice the father and the mother staring. Lisa appears to notice her friends and is not the most comfortable with that. As she started to clamp up a bit, and you notice she's slightly started to grab at the elbows of the chair she's sitting in. And her eyes are flitting between the two older individuals at the table and Raynor.
God,
So it's going to be one of those talks.
But yeah, so the funny thing is this kind of impromptu staring contest goes on for about 2 minutes before the man speaks up again. Well, I suppose introductions are in order. Since I am the master of the house, I suppose I should introduce myself. I am Archibald Sonsel. Welcome to my abode. This, and he points to the woman on his left, is Azalia Sonsel, second daughter of her own name.
Dude, you're gonna have to write these names down for us. I cannot figure out how to spell that.
I'll spell it out in a minute. Yeah, Archibald. I believe you've already met my daughter, Lisa. And he gives a nod to her. She sort of just waves. And Lisa, you'll have to introduce me to your friends at a later date, but for now I believe we have more important business. Anyways, who are you three? And your friend. And he sort of seems a bit off foot by Lucy's appearance.
This is Lucy, and I am Jing Nightingale.
You
from
appear
the
to be the suavest motherfucker. I'm assuming that's what you were going for?
I am.
Good. Well, that's what you got.
My name is Raynor. Necro?
No? That's it?
Are you not going to introduce yourself?
Nope.
Okay!
The silent type. Not exactly one I enjoy, but I'll respect it. Anyways, I am under the... Anyways, I assume you may have some questions. Particularly why you've been allowed to stay here so long. Without being required to pay, that is.
That is one of the many questions I have this morning, yes.
Speak up, boy. I didn't quite hear you there.
Yes. I'm going for the very nervous. What the fuck is happening?
You see Azela lean over to Archibald's ear and whisper something, and he seems to almost burst into laughter, but he barely contains himself. He goes back, right you are about that. Anyways, I'm assuming Reginald has ensured that your stay is a welcome one. I do apologize for any slights he may have had. While Reginald is perhaps one of the greatest servants I have ever known, he can be rather... what
Rough.
is the proper word? Rough, yes. Let's go with rough. Regardless, if my daughter's words are to be believed, you three are adventurers. Though I don't know of the fourth. Again, he seems kind of off-put that there's a little drow girl sitting with, from what he's heard from his daughter, are hardened adventurers.
Hardened. That's praise.
It's Lisa.
Yeah. We found Lucy on our latest excursion, if that's the right word for it. I looked to Jing.
It'll do.
Well, to each their own. Anyways. And he takes a small sip from the goblet he had in his hand. Well, not goblet, more... I guess the best term would be wine glass. Except it's just filled with water. So... I heard that you were betrayed by a client. Is that right?
Yes.
That's the gist of it, yeah.
Well, considering you helped to protect my darling daughter, I won't take betrayal like that kindly to anyone who helps me. As such, I'll help you. In return for a favor.
Oh god, is this what Lucy was getting at? Lisa. Christ, I'm doing the same thing you're doing.
Ah! And you made fun of me for it. Granted, I don't expect to try and extort you out of this, but please keep in mind, if the implications of what you're saying is true, I do need some way to ensure that none of this comes back to haunt my family. I hope you understand in that sense.
Very much so.
Well, until... Well, do any of you remember his name?
Elizabeth.
I do not remember.
Can I make a roll for myself?
What for?
To see if I am getting a sense of trust enough to this guy to give them the name.
That would be an insight check. Roll it.
Can I just roll to see if I can remember the name?
Yeah, roll a history check. Okay, so Rainer, you get the general sense that he's bearing his intentions fully. It's just guarded. He's obviously somewhat concerned by the allegations and wants to do something. It's just... It seems he wants to do something else, but he's been convinced to take this path. Course of action, rather. Jing, you remember the name Goldflower for some reason. That's the only thing you can remember.
Goldflower?
Was that the name of the client or the guy we were supposed to find out about?
Goldflower. Never heard of it. Must be a fake name. Describe to me what he looked like. And at this point, you've noticed that Lisa and the other two have sort of silently left the room. And it's just you three. Reginald's in the room too. He's standing by the door, and he is just a mask. But
He
regardless,
was elvish. I'm not sure.
there are a lot of elves in my Tyrell. I'm going to need more details if I'm to help.
Can I roll something to get the
Roll an intelligence check. Yeah.
Oh, lovely. Can I get advantage on this?
No.
Damn it. Not bad.
You remember he was an almost sickly complexion, dark black hair, kept short, eyes, you think amber? And he was slightly taller than you. That's all you can really remember. It was a while ago.
I relay that to him.
Not many in my trail have that kind of complexion. That probably will be what we use to find him. It'll take me a few days, but I might be able to help him. In the meantime, I believe you can help with me. And he pulls out a letter. He slides it across. Which one of you takes it?
Is this table big enough for that?
It's narrow enough that you can do this. It's basically in front of you when he finishes. He has to reach out a bit, get up from his chair and reach out a bit to get it all the way across. But yeah, it's basically in front of you four now. Which one of you wants to take it?
I'll pick it up.
All right. It's a purple envelope, and it has gold inlay, and it's addressed to the Sundcell residence.
I open it.
Inside, to those listed in this, and the letter inside is on white parchment, but it's beautiful calligraphy, cursive, swooping letters, everything. And you think the ink's even
royal people
gold.
and their fancy writing.
Yeah, but Jing understands this perfectly because he is one of those noble people. But it is, you are cordially invited to the coronation of and let me get my own names out because this is actually somewhat of a relevant character.
Wait, coronation.
Wait, there's another queen?
What happened to the old one?
You don't know what's Jing, are you reading this aloud or do you just read this to yourself?
I probably asked the question out loud.
Yes, coronation. It's essentially a rather ostentatious party. Lisa and our two friends have been invited. Problem is and he turns to you, Raynor. I'm assuming you've met some of the shadows.
I give him a very stern look. Yes.
Well, then... Well, recently they came to me, saying that they fear someone intends to try and make an attempt on one of my family's lives.
And you want bodyguards?
Not exactly. Bodyguards would be easy to spot. You three...
Oh no.
are about as inconspicuous as I can get without putting the lives of other nobility at risk. And if the lives of nobility are at risk, they talk. And at this point, Archibald's done a complete 180 from the jovial to an almost business-like sort of manner here. He is dead serious. He's sort of a younger Reginald, he's sort of a younger Reginald almost. Which is kind of weird, but anyways.
Did you give us a name for the coronation? person?
Let me think. Let me see again. I know I've got my notes somewhere. God, there's so much. There's so much I wrote down here. God.
You should categorize it into sections.
I did. That's the problem.
What the fuck?
Flashcards.
But it was. Let me see.
Lady Vexalia.
No. Okay. Oh yeah, here it is. Princess Sumaria of the My Today line. Third of her name. And that's the end of it.
Sumaria?
Sumaria, yes. Well, the queen will have her shields with her, and they are more than a formidable fight. They don't exactly extend that loyalty to other nobility. As such, that's why I hired you three. That's why I hope to hire you three. You will be given proper clothing and attire so that you at least don't stick out like sore thumbs. It will be your duty to stay close to my family. I will not be attending because I have a meeting of my own to go to, but my wife and my two daughters will be attending. Each of you will be assigned to one of them, and you will be their shadow for the night. Do this, and I will wholeheartedly help you track down the man who betrayed you and help you ensure that you can do whatever you wish to him without any repercussions. Do we have a deal?
I look over to the rest and like, what the fuck is going on?
Azalea chimes in. You don't have to accept it, and we'll still help. It's just, it'll take longer. If you do help us with this, it'll allow us to more singularly focus on the matter we agree to help you with. But if not, then we'll have to spend time constantly looking over our shoulders, and that is a rather distracting thing.
Jing physically grimaces and puts a scroll on the table. If you don't want to look over your shoulder, you should contact my sister.
Huh? You have a sister?
I do.
So you belong to that family?
I do.
Never figured you for that. I've met them once or twice.
Keep a low profile.
No, it's just you're much different than the ones I've met. No offense.
None taken.
No, as I said again, regardless of how much I might trust another noble house, someone will eventually talk. I'd prefer to keep this as quiet as possible. I think you can all understand the want for privacy.
Well, I'm down. How about you, Elizabeth?
I'll accept.
Lucy just gives a thumbs up.
You are not going on any mission, young lady.
She gives you the roll a Constitution save to avoid the puppy eyes.
Oh god, not again. Oh!
You feel like a real ass, but you remain true. You do feel guilty, though. But she realizes you're not gonna yield, and so she relents. Yeah, she just settles into a pout, she settles into the grumpy face where she's just like, pouting and crossing her arms and harumphing every once in a while. But
Kid
Lucy,
stuff.
I'm sure Mom has an invitation. You can come with her.
she immediately perks up again. But
We'd be happy to help.
great. Anyway, all right, so the coronation is in a week. We'll make all the preparations, and we'll inform you of our end of the of the info we find from our end of the bargain once we find it. I assume shall we shake on it? He gets up and extends a hand across the desk, or across the table, I mean.
Lucy shakes his hand.
Jing, are you like holding her up?
Yup.
So yeah, you pick Lucy up and just hold her out, and like this much larger bear paw of a hand just envelops a part of Lucy's arm, and she just shakes. He lets go. Well, you're allowed to roam the city now again. I am grateful for finally meeting you. And he heads out. Azela gets up and curtsies to all of you. I gratefully thank you for this task you've taken on. And she gives a curt nod, and a small smile plays her lips as she leaves as well. Reginald bows to both of them as he holds the door open and turns to face you. Rainer, the weirdest thing happens once they leave the room.
He goes from polite and drink to
The specter of
again?
death. No, he went from basically a mask of civility and like honorably respect, gentlemanly respect, to the grimace of death once more.
Okay, what happened? Why is he that pissed again? Or is he never let go of it?
Do you want to try to figure it out?
Oh, I don't think I should. I think only bad things can happen if I say yes.
All right, so you don't know. All three of you leave and are sequestered out of the house. You have the day to yourselves again. It's about 9. You also notice that the other 4, the dwarf, the dragonborn, the half-orc, and the human, are all leaving the house as well and are going their separate ways. Each of them is accompanied by another individual. Those individuals' garbs vary, but most of them seem to be some form of armor. Anyways, what do each of you wish to do?
Oh, God. I was not expecting this, honestly.
Do you say this in-game or out?
Both, sure, why not?
I don't like the idea of being split up.
And it's a coronation. What's a coronation?
Coronation. They're going to crown the next queen.
So,
Rainer, roll an intelligence check real quick. Yeah, no, you get the general sense of what that means. If you had rolled lower, those words just would have meant nothing to you. But yeah, you get the general sense of what's going on.
We're not going to be allowed to bring weapons, are we?
I don't need weapons.
Neither do I.
She doesn't
but they
need
help.
weapons.
The question is, what are we going to do with Lucy?
I'm going to see if my mother can watch her, but she'll probably be at the same place because my mother probably has an invitation to.
So, what do you want to
She
do?
wouldn't really be at any distance.
Hmm?
So I walked to my house.
Okay.
Is anybody there?
There are servants, but apparently your own family has stepped out of the house for a while.
Cool. I sequester some uh, servants to get Lucy a nice dress.
All right, roll an investigation check to try and find a seamstress.
Investigation.
You fairly quickly find one in the nobility district. It's one of the few storefronts, and it's almost on the very border of the separation between the gilded and silken districts. As you walk in, you see a somewhat older tiefling. Her hair is grayer than what most tieflings have. She has this dark ebony skin, these two almost elegantly curving horns that curve back over the top of her head. And she turns around and it's, what can the madame do for you today?
I set Lucy up on the table. She needs a dress. Something nice. And she
I
likes
don't
witches'
have,
hats.
and at that you get a slight chuckle from the madam. Well, I don't have anything on hand in her size. Her frame's a bit different than most girls her age. I'll have to special make one. How soon do you need it?
A week?
I can accomplish that. It'll cost a bit more. Material?
Silk.
And she flicks out a little journal from her side and get a pen and she starts writing down. Style?
Middle Eastern.
What's that?
In context clue.
Gotcha. My
Oh,
trail royalty.
Okay. Colors?
Midnight blue.
Just that, or do you wish for something for the detail?
She likes purple as well.
Put it down. Do you wish for any jewelry?
Let's keep it simple.
That she seems a bit crestfallen because she can't mark up the price. Very well. If you could get her over onto the measuring podium so that I can take some, measurements.
I set Lucy on whatever she was talking about because I don't know what the hell that is.
She points out it's basically like this elevated stand with 3 mirrors around it. It's like yeah.
It's in every shopping montage ever.
Look,
Sorta.
man, I don't do too much shopping.
The madame
As
calls
you notice,
for
I
another.
wear one set of clothes.
The madame calls for someone, and a younger individual steps out, female as well. She's elven, and she starts taking measurements and just starts noting numbers to the tiefling who keeps writing things down in the journal. Okay, yes. All right. Well, that'll be all.
She talking to me or the elf?
To you.
Oh, okay. I pick up Lucy and then we head back to wherever to wait.
All right. You guys mostly just wander as...
Sightseeing. Woohoo!
Yeah. Elizabeth, what do you want to do?
I want to go to a jeweler.
All right, roll an investigation. It takes you a while, but you eventually do track down a traveling merchant. He's in one of the large open air bazaars, and it's this traveling jewel salesman. Appears to be selling gemstones, a few pieces of jewelry, and not much else. He's this sort of wiry, older human individual, dark, very tanned skin. His hair is going gray. His face is wrinkled, and he's currently counting out the gold from a recent purchase, and is just he doesn't seem to notice you. Yeah. Yes. What do you wish? What do you wish to see?
Rather than buy, I rather want to sell this pendant.
Let me see it.
Take out the dwarven pendant.
Moonstone. That's that's an interesting. That's interesting. Well, I can give you, given its state, I can give you. And he looks through a small ledger. 250 gold.
250. And for this sphere?
I don't deal in weapons, only jewels.
Not a weapon. This sphere contained the
Sphere,
pendant.
not sphere.
Oh, sphere. I didn't hear you. And he takes it. I can probably melt it down for material. I'll give you another 25.
All right, you got yourself a deal.
Okay, thank you very much. He puts those two in a small satchel at its side and hands you a pouch of gold.
Thank you.
Or actually, he hands you 27 platinum and 5 gold.
7 platinum.
Because we're in the rich ring.
That, or he just felt it was easier to do that instead of handing you an entire pouch.
Okay.
Is that all, or do you wish to try and do more?
That's about it.
All right, so you mostly just wander. Rainer, what do you want to do?
Well, I was going to try to get Reginald's attention, but that ship has sailed.
You can try going back into the house and talking to him. At your own peril.
Do you really want to eat that fist right now?
That's kind of what I'm trying to do.
Reginald is a muscle wizard. He's going to cast fist all over your ass.
I suppose I could probably ask him tomorrow. Alright, so for today, I'll try to find a sanctioned fighting pit, I assume in like the 3rd district.
Roll an investigation check.
Oh, lovely. Wow!
It takes a good bit because fighting pits, well, that, and also fighting pits aren't illegal, but they're somewhat frowned upon mostly by the nobility. The council that actually dictates what becomes law or not doesn't really care. So long as it's consented by both parties, people can beat the crap out of each other if they want, so long as it's not to the death. But the general distaste of them by nobility does make them a bit more scarce. Eventually, though, you do track one down, and it's actually in one of the bazaars. It's inside of the Iron District. It's mostly denoted by this cacophony of shouting, cheering, booing, and you eventually come to what appears to be a makeshift fighting arena. It's inside one of these like open squares, and it's one of the larger ones for the Iron District, at least. And you find inside the square, and there's still room to move around, even this large, expansive sort of structure that's been built up. There's a small stand, a path leading in between a set of the bleachers, giving you a good view of the pit. There's this this wooden, sort of solid wooden fence lining around the pit, and inside you see currently two individuals fighting. And as you approach, you see that the stands are rather packed. What do you want to do?
Appear to be having weapons, or is it fist fighting?
It is fist fighting.
Okay. I'm gonna assume like a priest or something, or like somebody to talk to who might be in charge.
Roll perception check. This is more just to discern generally who's in charge here. Yeah, you quickly find that the person at the stand it's essentially like a betting booth. And you find it's a human individual, tanned complexion, black hair pulled back into a small, essentially warrior's tail, or wolf's tail, I think the name is. Which one?
Okay, Sokka.
Yeah. But he's like looking in on the fight, but he seems to be the only one not like overcome by the bloodlust and is more just staring in.
Are you the person in charge of this?
Who's asking?
Someone who wishes to compete.
Then you've come to the right person. Name's Tell. What's yours?
Rainer.
Nice to meet you. I'm assuming. So, since I know you're not from around here, I'm guessing this is your first time in a fighting pit?
I've seen similar things, but yes.
And he pulls out a sheet of paper and a quill. Sign this.
What is this?
Essentially, it says if you suffer permanent injury or death, we're not held responsible.
Wow, really? A liability waiver?
This is a fighting pit.
Don't they have a
And again, someone's got to keep things legal.
I take the quote, I guess. The Rainer wouldn't know how to sign, I don't think. Print his name, I guess.
Yeah, you just write your name down. Yeah, that'll work. He takes the form down and puts it away somewhere. So, well, there's currently a sort of tournament going on, and unfortunately, it's already quite into quite a ways, so you can't really get in. You can watch and bet, though.
No, thank you. I was hoping to sharpen my skills before an assignment.
And he kind of grabs the back of your robe before you can fully walk away. Hey, Rainer. Do you care if you actually make money off this, or
not really?
Or do you just not? come back after sunset. I think I might have something that interests you more.
I give him a quizzical look.
Just, if you want to sharpen your skills, come back after sunset.
Perhaps.
Hey, I really don't give a damn if you come or not. So, you don't have anything else? Might want to clear out. The fight's almost over, and I don't want you don't want a new fighter getting stampeded before he even gets in the ring. And with that, you actually hear the crowd. The crowd stopped as you look back, and one of the fighters is just laid out. Blood's pouring out of their nose, which appears to have almost been caved in. They're just sort of twitching. And then there's this uproarious cheer that comes out. It almost seems deafening, the sudden noise that just floods into your ears. And you do notice that some of them are already that a good portion of the spectators are already starting to round down the stands again to come back to the main table.
Get the fuck out of their way.
Yeah. So, do you want to do anything else, or?
I'm going to try to... Never mind, I was thinking of something else. I guess I'll just sightsee for a little bit.
All right. Roll a perception check, because you're actively trying to look for stuff. Where exactly are you looking around? Like just the Iron District, or are you just wandering through all three?
I guess I'll stay to the Iron District.
Okay, you mostly come, and you notice a lot. Yeah, you mostly notice things you've already seen before. The walls. You do notice that there are certain parts where there seem to be far fewer guards, or rather, you don't run into them as often. You also come across a few small open areas that seem to have vegetation and small springs in them. And there are a few individuals like huddled around them, just under rags and other such garments, just like sleeping. And you just keep moving on. Roll another perception check. Rainer? Yeah.
God, I don't see anything.
You thought you saw one of the people in rags pissing in a pond? And that just sticks with you. You really can't focus on anything else for the rest of the day. You just keep thinking back to that. But you eventually get back to the Gilded District, and it's getting close to around 5:30, and the sun's still very high in the sky. Again, it would be something weird to anybody else, but to you, it's kind of normal, so you're not that fazed by it. But you eventually head back in.
So what time would be sunset, considering how weird the sun is in this area?
About 9.
Wow, that's way past 6.
Well, it only said, 6 is only, and that's the winter. Montreal is basically Alaska.
Okay, thank you for that clarification.
Yeah. Anyways, it's sort of why you kind of see a lot of people being able to just sleep in broad daylight. Not like anything weird with them, it's just they've learned to deal with it. But anyways, you three come back, 4 come back, and you're served a meal separate from the main family. Rainer, you do, while you're walking through the halls towards your room again, you do pass those 2 girls from this morning.
Oh, shit.
They don't say anything. Yeah, no.
You mentioned it, which is why I'm scared.
No, I'm just thinking. I was thinking if I needed to make a roll or not. Yeah, no. You feel a slap on the ass.
Oh shit!
You whirl around and you don't, and you hear this like flurry of footsteps running down the staircase, but you don't see anybody. Roll a Constitution. Just roll a Constitution check.
Wait, what?
Just do it. No, not save.
Sorry.
Check.
Not much better.
It was a pretty good slap. It feels a bit sore. Whoever it was definitely knew what they were doing there, but since you don't want to pursue them, you just head back to your room. So before you all go to bed, what do you do?
I am going to see if I can find Reginald.
All right. When do you want to approach him exactly?
After dinner, sometime.
All right. So after a rather amiable dinner, you do find Reginald, and he looks you. Yes.
I know you do not like me.
Well, at least you're smart. Well, perceptive, one of the two. Good point.
Train me.
In what way?
In the way of the fist. You are much more skilled than I, and I have been without a master for far too long, and I do not have the time to build up from the start again. If I'm going to help with this task, I want to be as best as I can.
Meet me outside. Half an hour. Garden. And he just walks away.
I will do what he said. Anyone else want to do anything while this happens?
I want to watch.
You don't know that's happening.
And here
And your room has no windows.
So what do you guys want to do? What was that for?
I'm playing my flute. Ooh, no. You know what? I will teach Lucy how to play the flute.
All right, so do you want to you're teaching Lucy more stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What exactly do you want to teach her this time?
How to play the flute.
It's a bit difficult considering you only have the one. But you managed to make it work.
Sweet. So, are we like gonna skip this week and go straight to the coronation, or are we gonna play out this whole week?
We're going to play out this whole week. I'm just... Elizabeth, you want to do anything?
I would like to travel to a bar.
All right.
For
Where do you want to find the bar? In the... Because you remember the bar is mostly being in the Silken district, but yeah, okay. So roll an investigation check. You very quickly find a rather nice looking tavern. It's one that services more merchants, travelers, and people who don't need alcohol just to deal with their boring lives, more like the blue collar workers that are just drinking for a good time.
Yeah, I'll go look for another one.
All right. Roll another investigation.
Trying to find one where I could actually meet certain people.
What kind of people are you trying to find exactly?
Hookers.
Really?
That's an entirely different thing.
Might as well go to a brothel.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you eventually do find a place called. You eventually find a place called the. It's simply called the Ivory Oasis, and wandering inside, the madam of the house greets you. Rather, she does seem a bit off-put by your appearance, but she quickly brushes aside. She's had far weirder clientele. Obviously, it's just physically you kind of look a bit out there. You know this, but she does present a myriad of possible partners of almost every race, actually. The only ones that aren't available are your own kin and Asamir.
I am at the wrong place.
Do you leave again?
Yes. I'm trying to find a bar with a rowdy crowd.
That would have been the first bar you got to.
As in a lot of brawl fighting.
A
lot of brawl fighting.
Yeah. Well, a lot of bar fighting can happen at that place.
Hi.
Is it fun?
You never asked for the name, actually. But it's known as the Gilded Dune. And it's a rather... The exterior is very refined, but the inside is like a stereotypical fantasy tavern, like wooden flooring. A lot of the stuff looks like it's either been broken and repaired multiple times over or just had to be recently replaced for some reason.
Okay. Try finding the strongest person that's there that's not a guard.
What do you try to find? You try to find the strongest person that's not a guard?
Yeah.
Roll an investigation check. This is more to just size up everybody.
You are trying to pick a bar fight in the freaking...
You find it rests with 3 individuals. One of them is an extremely large Goliath. He seems to be currently enjoying quite a few drinks. He seems to be well a ways into his drinking. And while he seems physically strong, he doesn't exactly seem to be... He wouldn't exactly be that hard of a fight, considering he's a couple drinks away from just being flat out knocked out.
And the other two?
The other one is a human. He seems to have the build of a fighter, except he's just not wearing any armor. He is surrounded by a few other individuals, and he seems to be much more sobered, but he still seems to have gotten a few drinks in him. The third's a gnome. You don't know why you singled out the gnome, you just did.
How many people are with the human or the second person?
Yeah, the human.
How many people are with them?
3 others. The problem is they all looked armed.
I'd like to buy a round for all of them.
The bartender, he goes over, "Oi, Virion," and the guy looks up. "Looks like you got somebody with actual manners in here. They just brought you around." Like he and a small group just, yeah! And they gladly take the drinks. One of them abstains. It's a tiefling male, and he just more seems to be the somber one of the group. He's not drinking, actually.
The designated driver.
Sorta, yeah. Except no driving, but pretty much.
You look. Go over to the human. To the human's like, you look pretty strong.
Huh? Why do you want to know?
I was kind of looking for a little entertainment around here. So a little bit of moving blood.
Oh, what kind of entertainment?
The kind that involves bloodshed. Not the kind where it gives you into prison. More like just a friendly fight.
Well, if it's a fight you're asking for, I'd be happy to oblige you.
Well then, ladies first.
And slowly gets up and quickly wheels around and tries going for a punch to the gut. Are you unarmored or?
I'm armored.
Ooh. Yeah, he goes for a punch in the gut, and that it?
Yeah.
+4. Oh boy, you're fighting a monk.
My turn. Fuck.
Misses.
And all of a sudden, she remembered fighting isn't her strong suit, only manipulation.
My only sole reason in life is just to mess with Rainer and nothing more.
Are you fucking kidding me?
At the moment, no. The guy easily backsteps, then comes around and essentially tries to backhand, except with a closed fist.
The Bruce Lee attack.
Misses.
All right.
Really?
At this point, a bolt sings by both of you and embeds itself in the door. You look back, and the bartender's has in his hands a heavy crossbow.
Oh, fuck.
Virian, what did I say about fighting? The man, Virian, seems crestfallen. She started it. Really? Lady, either buy a drink or get out, please. Last thing I need are more bar fights.
Find another round.
Do you want to buy? Very well. You can stay, but no causing any shit. Got that?
Understood. Boring bastard. I'll spend the rest of the day just drinking with them.
Night?
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you spend the rest of the night actually drinking away. And all right, so do you spend the night in the tavern?
Yeah.
Okay. Jing, what do you do?
I thought he taught Lucy how to play the flute.
Oh yeah, you did. So, Rainer, you wait the half hour and then eventually make your way back to the. You eventually make your way back to the garden. There you find Reginald, and he's changed out of the butler clothing and into something you're more used to seeing. He's wearing something similar to a monk's robes, except they seem a bit more. They seem old, weathered, as if nature's eaten away. Time has eaten away at it. There are small gashes in it that appear to have been haphazardly stitched up, but the stitches are starting to come loose. There's small holes at the very hems. But Reginald is standing ramrod straight, facing away from you. He's looking over the rest of the garden.
Is he like standing in a circle?
You can't see one.
No, I meant, is there like a design on the ground?
Again, you can't see one.
It's too dark? I'm confused.
No, it's just there's so many different patterns in the stonework on this small like clearing of the
it's etched
garden.
Shit.
Yeah, there's like stuff edged all over it. If there's any kind of circle, you don't know of it.
Okay, then I guess I walk up to him.
He turns around. You wish to study under me?
Yes.
For what reason?
To keep innocence.
Roll a persuasion check.
Oh no. I'm not good at the persuasion.
Thank you.
Were you telling the truth?
Yeah, I want to hone his skills so during this stupid thing that's coming up in a week that he actually is confident they can protect whoever he's assigned to. Hopefully Lisa.
His right hand rises up and he seems to concentrate for a second. He opens his eyes and make a wisdom saving throw.
Wait, what? Wisdom?
Yeah, wisdom.
Natural 20.
Okay, so the moment you make eye contact, the world starts swimming. Things start distorting. The ground below you seems to shake, shift, and almost opens up below you, but you manage to shake it off, and you continue staring.
I'm so confused. What the fuck just happened?
Well, you're not lying. Good. Well then,
What was... Hold on, out of character. What the fuck was that?
homebrew. You guys are using it. I'm using it too.
Okay. Sure.
He takes a stance that you're not used to. It's similar to your own, but different in key ways. His feet are further apart. His left hand's just hanging at his side, and his right hand's the only one up in any kind of guard. Well then, prove to me that you're worth my time. I'll give you the first move.
Am I attacking him?
You're currently, I'm actually going to draw a map for this.
But that still gives us 4 hours to...
Oh, did he say whether or not I could use my weapons? Or weapon?
You sort of just assumed you weren't.
Okay. That's fine.
But you are here. And since I still haven't been able to find a good picture for Reginald, he will be the square. This is currently your distance apart.
Because it is a work of genius.
You get to make the first move.
He's 40 feet away. I can actually get up to him.
What do you do?
Unarmed strike.
This is the city of Judah,
Miss.
the industrial capital of Italy,
Bonus action unarmed strike.
good for its architecture, and soon
That hits. Roll damage.
of the 20th century.
5.
The care is less.
All right.
That's his turn now.
Okay, so the hit, and you hit him squarely in the gut. He doesn't flinch. He doesn't move. He just stares down at you. Is that what you can do? He's going to attack by swiftly bringing his knee into your gut. Let's see. It's proficiency bonus plus attack bonus. Wait, no, just attack bonus. So let's see. That hit?
No.
Okay.
For flavor, I jump out of the way before he can knee me in the gut.
Hmm. He quickly moves up and will expend a key point to enact flurry of blows.
Shit. The 18 hits, the 4 does not.
Oh, I was actually, does 15 hit you? Because I just realized he had an attack bonus of 11.
What? No, 15 does not hit me. My AC
Okay.
is 18. How the
Just
fuck does he have
for-
an attack bonus of 11?
High levels.
Plus 11 to his attacks?
Oh boy.
That's a natural 10. But that's damage. Oh, fuck. I'm
So
conscious.
how close are you to death? Yeah, how close are you to death?
I'm
Or
5.
unconsciousness?
5.
All right.
I can take one more punch. But that basically shot me across the room.
Yeah, it pretty much... It actually pushed you back 5 feet. He resumes the same position as before. You don't seem to be picking up what your first lesson should be. If you want, I can beat it into you, but I'd much rather prefer not to leave a bloody mess in the garden. Your move.
Oh, boy. He's trying to teach me something, right?
You don't know. All you know is that he really hurts.
Okay. Hold on, I need to look up something.
Mark?
I'm looking something up. I don't know if this will work. Okay, I'm gonna spend a key point and use Wait, did we agree that if I use an action in a key, it counts as a Fury of Blows?
If you the official way it works is if you take the attack action immediately after, you can use Flurry of Blows by spending a key point. So you need to make an attack first.
Wait, so it'd be an attack then Fury of Blows.
Attack, yeah, the way it works is, let me pull it up. Flurry of Blows, immediately after you take the attack action on your turn, you can spend 1 key point to make 2 unarmed strikes as a bonus action.
Okay. Okay, so never mind then. I'm gonna spend a key point and use Patient Defense, which basically means the dodge action. All attacks against me until my next turn are at disadvantage.
Okay. At this, he looks at you. So you know more than just blind rushing. But you still didn't learn. And he surges forward and... It's going to, let's see. He's going to do the same thing, an attack and then 2 unarmed strikes, this flurry of blows. Well, actually, it would be, if I remember this correctly, 4, because he has extra attack. So first, 2 strikes.
All at disadvantage. Because of patient defense.
All right, I'm actually going to use his character sheet.
Why didn't you before?
Because I'm not used to having a character sheet for NPCs.
Oh my, come on! That's 2 natural 20s!
The
It doesn't
first
matter,
one,
I knocked out.
Yeah. About that. The first strike is the only one he's doing. And instead of damage, you just feel this light quivering.
Oh fuck, no. No.
Also, make a strength saving throw.
I know exactly what you're doing, motherfucker!
Make a strength saving throw.
Oh, I didn't.
Let me see. And no, that wasn't for the first one. Let me see. Let's make a strength saving throw. Oh, no, never mind. It doesn't apply, but he steps back. You can take an attack of opportunity if you wish.
I will.
All right, roll an attack. Misses.
Yeah, I figured.
He stands there.
With his palm open. Or clenching.
Well, yeah. He resumes the same stance he's always had. His left hand's basically hanging out his side, and his right hand's up in a guard position. Last chance. Show me you know the lesson.
I don't understand what his lesson's supposed to be.
Think about what's happened to you so far. Think about what's worked and think about what hasn't.
The only thing that actually worked was that 1 unarmed strike.
And you can try attacking again. Do you think that'll work?
Hold on, what was that vision I was given again?
It was basically as if everything was, you know those mirrors that make everything you look at like distorted, basically. It was essentially like the entire world was inside one of those mirrors. Everything looked wrong, and to basically put it, if you failed, you would have had disadvantage on all attacks for the next round.
Okay. Wait, then why did he say I wasn't lying?
Essentially, he was trying to test your resolve. You don't know how this guy works. Remember that.
DM, can I roll like intelligence to figure out what the fuck? Because I'm on
roll an intelligence check.
Because I'll be honest, I have no idea what the fuck he's trying to tell me.
Roll an intelligence check with advantage.
Oh, thank God.
Well, with advantage. See if you get a 20.
Nope, that's a 1. 17's the best.
You remember back to your own master, the first day you started teaching under him, and it was a memory you kind of repressed. He laid you out flat. At the very end of it, he said, the first lesson is simple. Understand when you're outmatched, and know that retreat is never cowardice. And you're back in the present, in much the same situation.
I take a deep breath. I turn around, and I walk away, out of what I appear to be the ring. Well, that's as far as I can get.
Okay. Do you actually? Yeah.
And I like go into. The ring's there for my benefit, right? As the player.
Yeah, basically, that's like just the boundary of the tiled area.
And I sit down into like a meditative stance, and I like put my fists forward onto the. I'm doing the bow thing. Like I'm acknowledging.
Towards him or away from him?
What?
Towards him or away from him?
Towards him.
Reginald seems to make some form of gesture with his left hand, and the quivering in your chest fades. And you now realize that it was almost holding your breath, because you're now able to start breathing again.
I just realized. He's max level, isn't he?
Close to it.
That was quivering palm.
Yeah, and I was going to say, if you didn't fail, you would have just been outright dead.
Yeah.
Well, unless I got really unlucky and rolled all ones on the 10s.
I would... Okay, yeah, I'd be all conscious.
Yeah, but he walks over. He slowly walks over. He's about right next to you. You feel a hand on your head, and at first you flinch, but it... You learned the first lesson well. Whoever first taught it to you must have really known what they were doing. Well, you're not completely hopeless. So yes, I'll train you. Maybe I'll even train you after this is all over. It'll be fun having a student. And he kind of pushes you on the back forward, causing you to stumble. Back into the ring, at least.
Well, I technically never made it out, but sure.
Yeah. Further into the ring again. And you turn around to see Reginald just walking back into the manor. Now go get some rest. Yeah, I know how hard I can hit. And you can almost swear that Reginald is grinning smugly. And before he stops, same time tomorrow. You got that?
Yes, sensei. And I bow.
Don't call me that.
Okay.
It's Reginald.
Thank you, Reginald.
Good night, Rainer. And he just walks inside. Little note, that's the first time he's used your name.
I was about to say, holy shit.
But you do feel something in your chest right as he walks inside. It's a feeling that sort of spreads out from about the sternum out of your body. You feel almost 1,000 tiny pinpricks all along your skin.
Oh, fuck.
And then you're just passed out.
Motherfucker, he didn't deactivate it.
Most of it. But yeah, no, you're passed out of the garden.
Oh, piece of shit.
Anyways, next day rolls around. Rainer, you're woken up by one of the gardeners.
Check my watch. I potentially don't have.
No, you still have the watch, and it's 7 a.m. And the rest of you, Elizabeth, you actually saw the entire thing.
Oh, what?
Well, no, wait, never mind, Elizabeth. You didn't see it because you never returned, did you?
Nope.
Okay, yeah, no. No, Xing, you actually saw everything because your room actually has a good view of the garden.
You said his room had no windows.
Oh, yeah, no. Fuck me. I was thinking of somebody else.
No
Somebody
one
saw
saw
it.
any of this except potentially NPCs.
Yeah. Oh, no, yeah. I was thinking of somebody else. No, somebody did see it. And it also might be because there's a sizable blood stain from where he punched you in the gut pretty hard. But you get breakfast and you feel
Sore.
it's almost as if you worked out every muscle in your body for a week and this is the day you finally took a break. That's the amount of soreness you have. In fact, you get a level of fatigue.
Are you fucking serious, really?
Nope. I am serious. You take a level of fatigue.
Oh, fuck.
You can spend most of the day doing nothing until your next training session to get rid of it, but
I might as well. Cause if he's gonna train me hard enough that I'm getting fatigued, that's gonna be what we have to do for the majority of this.
yeah. Anyways, so you three managed to. So you three get for breakfast. Jing, you notice Rainer looks like shit. Elizabeth, do you ever return to the house or do you stay in the tavern?
Return before morning.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, no, you wouldn't see Rainer. You do see Reginald as you're walking in, and he looks the happiest he has ever been since you got here.
He could have actually killed me.
You actually finally kill Rainer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's about as close as I'll get to it without getting in trouble. And he points, and you just see him. The pose he got into when he fell asleep is unflattering. Like, he is just splayed out across the ground. He's, like, slightly twitching.
Wow. Too bad I have ink on me.
He's... I wouldn't say a good person, but he's got potential.
Doesn't have brains either.
He's got something up there. He's able to figure out not to try and fight me.
Wait, what time is it?
The last you checked and there was a clock in the tavern, you left around... You got back around 2-ish?
Going to bed.
Yeah, so you go to bed. Things wake up and... So... Everything starts... You guys basically all have dinner. Jing, you're the only one that seems well rested of the group. Elizabeth just looks tired. Jing looks like hammered shit. And Lucy stayed up all night trying to learn the flute. So she's just tired. You're the only one that can probably do anything today without being negatively affected.
Wow.
That's saying something for the drunk.
Hey, kids change you a lot. Anyways. What do you guys want to do for the day?
I assume we're getting kicked out of the house again.
Actually, Rainer, Reginald comes and gets you and leads you to the bathhouse in the manor.
He's gonna make me scrub the toilets, isn't he?
No, actually, conversation goes as such. You walk in and you literally just ask the question, "You're going to make me scrub the toilets?" And his response is this: "No, it's to help you recover. If you intend to survive me beating you into a pulp every night, you're going to need to be able to recover. So, soak here for a few hours. Usually helps."
Walks in, walks out.
Yeah, he pretty much just walks out afterwards.
No, what was the thing from the Karate Kid?
Wax on, wax off.
There you go.
But yeah,
So I guess I'm taking a bath.
you're taking a long soak in a sauna, essentially, in like one of the hot springs, basically. And it's actually a pretty spacious area, even though it's still on the first floor.
Please tell me that there's a separate one for women.
Oh yes, there is.
Thank you. There are so many hijinks that could have happened.
I'm not that cruel.
Thank you.
But you do notice a number of the other servants do come in and make use of the facilities. They give you a cursory look, but then they just guess, oh, Reginald's a new student. Because Reginald, you get the general sense from talking with them that Reginald's that you actually do find out a few things about him. One, he was actually, in a former life, a member of an assassin's order.
Holy shit, what?
He apparently not much is known, but at the very least, it was well known. It's well known among the staff that he used to make a living by killing people. One of his targets turns out to be Archibald's son to sell. Apparently, Reginald liked him so much, he quit the former job and started working for him. At least that's what most of them think happened. No one really knows much about him. All they do know is that he's just been here the longest and could probably break most of them with one of his hands.
I can confirm that he definitely can.
But yeah, no. So they sort of just pass it off as either a new protege or he finally found someone to agree to be his punching bag. Possibly both.
From master assassin to butler. Wow, this is a crazy world.
But yeah, you soak and you actually lose the fatigue in about 4 hours.
Oh, good.
But the area where he punched you is turning a deep, deep purple.
So, no hiding the fact that I almost died, potentially.
Pretty much.
Oh boy, explaining this one to Lisa is not going to be easy. I think to myself.
Yeah, no. Make a perception check real quick.
We were over this.
I know. Make a perception check, though.
25.
You distinctly feel somebody watching you. You don't know from where. You just know that they're not inside the bathhouse, but someone's watching you. Somehow.
Oh, out of character, I have a pretty good idea. I have two good ideas, actually. Rainer can think of one, I can think of two.
Well, do you act on this, or?
Yes.
What do you do?
I'm going to... from what I perceived, it's not in the bathhouse, but I am somehow being seen.
Yeah, that's what you perceive. That even though the bathhouse is empty, someone is watching you.
If you have something to say, say it.
I'm trying to think of how to say this. Roll a persuasion check. Or do you want this to wait? Do you want this to be intimidating or like persuasive? Yeah, no, persuasion check.
It's the same thing, but I'll be the persuasive.
Yeah, roll a persuasion check.
That's a 4.
Silence. You still feel them watching. There's actually a statue that you notice it's coming from.
Is there like a bucket with my washcloth in it?
No, there's no. Your bucket was left in a different room.
Damn. Oh, am I out of the hot spring? Or...
Yeah, you climbed out of the hot spring to do this. If you're going over to check the statue, hell yes.
Okay, I'll check the statue.
Second question, do you remember your towel?
Yes, I do. I assume I'm tying it to my waist while I'm bathing, like all people in onsen have to do, I assume.
Yeah. Roll a sleight of hand check. This is just to see how strong the knot is.
Not bad.
I was kind of hoping for a 1, not gonna lie.
Motherfucker, if that statue we start getting a nosebleed.
No, but the point was, yeah, no, the knot's strong enough. It'll hold. It'll hold no matter what you do. But yeah, no, you eventually feel the presence leave. After a few minutes, though.
Wait, I said I was.
Oh my god, Neko, really?
What?
No, yeah, you were looking at the statue, but eventually you feel the presence of the eyes on you leave.
Can I tell to see if the statue was just my imagination? Because I know someone was looking, but is
Roll investigation.
Nine.
Hard to tell, actually. You're not sure.
So 4 hours soaking in a tub. It's 1, I assume?
Yeah, it's about 1.
Yeah, I don't know what else to do, to be honest.
Do you head back to your room and just meditate for a while?
Am I allowed to stay in the house?
Apparently.
Yeah, I'll go in and meditate. Or try to...
Alright.
Well, yeah, I got my ass kicked, so yeah, meditate is probably the best idea.
Problem is, someone took your clothing.
Oh.
Or it's just gone, so you're walking through the house in a towel.
Motherfucker. Can I make an intelligence roll and guess that I have an idea? Out of character, I have a pretty good idea who it is, but Raider...
Roll an intelligence check if you want to try and figure that out.
What check?
Intelligence. This is basic deduction.
12.
Okay, say who it would have been.
I'm going to assume it was Lisa's friends.
You have the sinking suspicion it might be.
Oh.
Alright. Roll a stealth check to see if you can get back to your room without anybody noticing you.
Oh.
Essentially nude.
Please be merciful, dice gods.
1.
Not bad.
You almost make it back to your room.
Like, how far?
To the door.
Oh, fuck.
Then a room slightly down the hallway opens and someone shoved out.
Someone should... Oh, fuck, no!
It's a girl. And it's Leo. God.
Who is it?
Lisa.
I'm ducking into my room. I'm ducking into my room as fast as I fucking can.
Roll a sleight of hand check to see if you can get the door open.
I was about to say, if they fucking locked it.
It takes you a few seconds, but because you kind of fumble because you're Russian, but you eventually get the door open and it's just. You did get a good look, and her face is essentially glowing.
Glowing?
It's basically neon red.
Yeah, me too at this point.
And you hear...
Laughter?
Yeah, no, not laughter, just giggling. As you hear the other door slam shut again. Someone basically screaming in embarrassment and two people giggling.
Oh god. Oh no, her friends are just as bad as Elizabeth!
I gotta
And
meet these people.
but unfortunately, your clothes aren't in your room.
Fuck. Oh, this is not good.
There is a butler suit though.
Why?
There's just a butler suit.
Was there always a butler suit?
No, just it. You left your room this morning. No butler suit. You came back. Butler suit.
This could possibly be unrelated. But I might as well... Is the butler suit fitting? Is there
You can
underwear in this
check.
universe?
Yes, essentially.
Is there underwear with the butler suit?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'll change into the butler suit.
All right.
What, you don't go commando, dog?
Well, actually, as a monk, he might. Huh. I should
mean,
have
you might-
asked to clarify for underwear. I didn't think of that.
How about a loincloth?
Yeah, I would have assumed loincloths,
That's
but
technically what the robe is. Whatever.
But-
I'm getting the butler suit. How snazzy does Rainer look in this? Do I look
Like
like
a butler.
Sebastian?
you don't look like Sebastian. Because what is your charisma? Because that
Oh,
sort
that's
of
a
relates to
+1.
physical look. Yeah, no, you're not Sebastian.
Also, my hair is a mess.
But you do look dapper. You look, if you hardened your expression and like grew a beard, you look like you look like a less pissed off and smaller Reginald.
Wait a minute, I just realized something. Why the fuck are they in a room on the same, like, 2 doors down from me?
Mm.
Did I see which room that was?
It was actually quite a bit down. It was a bit further down from you. It's not just 2 doors over.
Okay.
But
I'm going to... No, wait.
little note, it also included a comb.
I do not know how to use one. I shave my head. But
Yeah, it just includes a comb.
Actually, that's a good question.
You've actually grown.
Do I actually have hair now?
Yeah, you have
short
like
hair.
functioning hair, basically. You have like a short. You basically have like short hair.
I love how he says I shaved my hair, but before that, my hair is a mess.
No, I shaved my hair. We were asleep for a month. It grew back,
Yeah.
and he didn't take care of his hair, so I assume it's
Alright,
like
so-
a mess.
Cutting away. Elizabeth, what do you want to do?
Going out exploring.
One thing is you do feel a disturbance in the force.
I feel a disturbance in the force. Somebody is doing my damn job.
That's essentially what you do feel. But you go exploring. Do you have anything in mind, or you just want to go sightseeing?
Anywhere where I'm more likely to get into a fight.
Roll an investigation check. You eventually find the same fighting pit that Rainer went to. Except you don't know that, so you just find your way to a fighting pit in the Iron District.
I'll just watch.
The current match is between a female half-orc and a Goliath male. Both are about of equal height. The Goliath is a few inches taller, but essentially the fighting style is no form of defense, just completely, essentially hammering into the other person, seeing which one buckles first. And at the moment, the half-orc is winning.
Looks fun. I'll stay there for the rest of the day.
Do you just watch, or do you want to try and compete?
I'll watch.
All right, so through the day, well, first off, the half-orc does win the match, but through the day, a complete roster of individuals come forth to start competing, and you notice that a lot of them use different fighting styles, and all of them are forced to fight barehanded. You see people with figures similar to Raynor, except a bit better built, and they seem to fight in a similar manner to him. One guy is fighting like he's drunk, but for the most part, it seems very few of them have any kind of refined martial prowess and are more just using basic brawling. And it's entertaining enough, even though you don't do betting. But it at least occupies your day, and it actually is kind of enjoyable. The end of the day, at sunset, at around 6, the matches slow down and eventually stop for the day. People filter out of the stands and start heading back to their individual homes. You do hear a voice. As you turn to leave, you notice a human male with darker skin is sort of looking at you and kind of sizing you up almost.
Can I help you?
Well, usually the fighters, people who are looking to fight usually don't just stand on the sidelines all day. Try to figure out what you're about, though.
About what?
Why are you here? You're obviously looking to fight.
Yeah, that was part of the reason I'm here.
Well, what's the other reason?
I'm bored.
Ain't that the truth? That's why most of the people fighting here are fighting. Now, if you're bored, there's a few things there's a couple. If you're bored, I might be able to help with that.
What do you got in mind?
Fights. Fists only. First one.
No problem. I have claws. I have claws, so.
And then I'd find you opponents that'll be suitable in similar manners, but you win. You take out some aggression and get paid too.
Sounds fun.
All right. Be here tomorrow.
All right.
By the way, what's your name?
Call me Lisa.
What?
All right, Lisa. I'm Tal. And he reaches out a hand.
I'll shake his hand.
And you head back to the manor. Jing, what are you doing?
Well, I guess I should see if Lucy has any arcane ability. So, arcane in the check.
Can you determine that in an 8-year-old?
5-year-old? I'm assuming his teaching style is throw things at the wall until something sticks. But so for the majority of the day, you spend some time in the garden away from anything expensive, and slowly go through every kind of magic which is somewhat limited. Essentially necromancy, some elements of divine, and a small amount of alteration, or abjuration, not alteration. it doesn't seem she absorbs the knowledge about them quickly. It's just she doesn't seem to have any aptitude for any of them.
Okay. Next, let's see if she's any good at hide and seek.
Oh, are you in for a shock?
All right. Roll an investigation check. You don't find her until you give up, which is after about 30 minutes. And eventually you give up and just sit down somewhere, and she comes crawling out from beneath a shrub, comes running up to you, saying, "I win," and then hugging you.
Mr. Tanaka works for not for security. We've authorized Mr. Tanaka to be here. I'm authorizing his ass out of here. He's contaminating the crime scene. And I want to spend not undertake our own private inquiry. Your own private inquiry, man.
Okay, this is about the extent of what I wanted to do for today.
All right. You all return for dinner?
Did I ever get my clothes back?
No.
So I'm eating in a butler suit.
Yep. Elizabeth and Jing, you both notice Rainer's new choice of clothing. Rainer, Lisa and the two girls come in, and the girls seem kind of surprised that you're wearing clothing. Much less Butler's uniform.
I had a feeling that wasn't a part of this.
Lisa's got a bit of a weird look in her eye. Not sure what that is.
Oh, can I please let me investigate that look?
Investigate it.
He finally joined your service.
No, insight check, not investigation.
16.
Somewhere between bewilderment and excitement.
Oh boy.
Something like
Sounds
that.
out well.
You then feel a hand clamping on your shoulder. Looking up, Reginald, oh god, death face. And yeah, then you go,
Does he say anything?
nope, just the visage of death staring down at you.
I tell him straight out, I came out of the bath, someone stole my clothes, these were in my room.
I know the last part, but... Wait, what?
I came out of the bath, and my
Did
clothes...
you walk around the house nude?
No, I had my towel.
Oh
was
god,
very
you walked around the
stealthy.
house nude. Did anyone see you?
And blushing red.
The hand clamps tighter as he slowly draws in. Did anyone see you naked?
Yes.
Who?
He winces his eyes and nods his head towards them.
It takes a few seconds. Then there's the
he's gonna throw
flick
me,
of
isn't
the
he?
light bulb. A small smile forms on his lips. Releases the hand. Walks away.
Wait, what?
He just releases his hand. Walks away.
Oh fuck, he's gonna kick my ass later.
Jing and Elizabeth, you both saw this and also heard what Rainer said.
Wait, so, he got that when I nicked my head, I was going towards Lisa and the girls, right?
Yeah, no, you, like, you sort of just motioned towards them, and he got the message.
Yeah, I'm not gonna wake up tomorrow.
Elizabeth, you did notice this. Specifically his I got out of the bath and I was missing my clothes thing.
I gotta find these people.
Jing, you hear this as well.
I'll give you 3 guesses. And one of them's always blushing when she's around him.
Dinner ends and all of you return to your rooms. Rainer, you go from being excited about having a mentor to dreading it. Yeah. You're scared.
Especially considering he was smiling.
But the time comes. Do you go?
Yeah, I agreed to this. Anything else is kind of...
You walk out, and the first thing... And he's in the same place as always, as before. You come, and he tosses your clothes to the ground in front of you. They were mixed in with the laundry. One of the maids found it, and, well, they were filthy. One thing I'm going to be teaching you is the proper sense of fucking etiquette. Seriously, how can you stand being in clothes that filthy?
Living without a constant source of water.
That's an excuse.
I give him a very... Wait, what? I've heard that line before, look.
Get changed. I don't want that. I don't want a good outfit getting ruined.
Did the maid give me the butler's outfit? I'm asking.
Well, I sort of arranged for you to get new clothing. But I didn't know that you had lost your old ones. So go change into something a bit more suitable for what we're about to do.
Thank you. And I go to get changed.
Roll a perception check real quick. This is...
The 46th floor, the cameras. I know in Japan they like to observe
10.
You hear a sound of like something buzzing through the air. You think it might be insects that just come out at night, but you're not sure. It sounded a bit big. You go get changed and come back. And Reginald is standing there. So I've essentially beaten you to a pulp. Now let's actually try doing training. First lesson. And he takes a stance. Try and move me. And first, he makes the same gesture from before. Roll the wisdom saving throw.
Oh, God. I fail.
The world goes swimming again, except it doesn't stop this time. You're not seeing double. It's just everything's distorted. Even Reginald seems to be bent into a curved, inhuman shape. You can still get a general sense of where he is. It's just distorted as all hell for you. But you hear his voice clearly.
I'd like to see tonight's disc for the 46th floor.
Now try and hit me.
He said move him first, right?
Move him and hit him. Okay. Essentially, you're going to have to do the same thing.
All right, I'm gonna spend. Wait. Right. I'm gonna spend a key point to do Fury of Blows and use the must make a strength save. If failed, pushed up to 15 feet away.
So 23. Miss. Remember
19
everything.
misses?
9. You have disadvantage.
All right. So, well, Fury of Blows. I forgot I had disadvantage. 12.
Miss. Then roll the 2 more. Or wait, were those the flurry of blows?
Yeah, the first one.
Make
yeah,
a
that
third.
was
Yeah, make a third attack then.
third. My.
At your level, flurry of blows is 3 hits.
No, it's not. It is. Where does that say that?
You have to make attack action, and then you can do flurry of blows.
Oh, so I have to. Oh, right. So it's a unarmed. Okay, so the first one was just a normal armed strike then.
Yeah. Roll another one.
Sorry, that's confusing sometimes. 16.
Miss. After that, your vision does return to normal, and you're like shaking your head. Reginald is still standing over you. I told you to hit me. That he goes in with a knife hand right to attack you now.
Knife hand. What?
Essentially, he straightens his hand out and is essentially trying to stab you with it.
Ah, okay. Nope. Yep.
So with the first hit, you manage to see it coming. It's more that you're used to trying and keeping your balance all of a sudden with whatever he did to your head, that you're almost overreacting and dodge extremely far out of the way. Unfortunately, you don't realize this leaves you open as he quickly coils back the hand and almost like a gun shoots it forward and slams it in your stomach. The air is knocked out of your system and you're put onto your knees. He gives you a small vial. Drink it. We're not done yet.
Does it look like a potion of healing?
It doesn't look like a potion of healing, but it feels warm to the touch.
I drink it.
You instantly heal all your hit points back.
What?
You're back up at whatever your hit point max is.
20.
Well, you're back up at it. Stand up.
I stand up.
Move me.
Did he say move me?
Yeah, he said move me.
Alright. Normal attack?
With disadvantage.
No, you said my vision returned.
Patient defense.
Oh, fuck.
Remember, he's a monk too.
Right. 14 misses.
Yep.
Key point for the 15-point push for... You don't have to make the saving throw unless I hit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like I said,
I'm more surprised that you managed to roll the same thing twice.
Yeah, I am too, actually.
3 times. He's going to try and grapple you.
Okay.
Roll an acrobatics check to see if you can get out of it.
Acrobatics?
Acrobatics.
Oh, good. I'm proficient with that. Well, that 10.
You
Are
rolled
you
11.
freaking kidding me? I guess I'm grappling.
With your last punch, he grabs your arm. He grabs right at your wrist and curls the other arm around your neck and yanks your arm back to force you down. Essentially, he's trying to restrain you by
I'm in a submission.
torquing your arm against you. Yeah, you're in a submission. You're in a submission. You can. Well, since you couldn't move me, let's try with something a bit simpler. Try and squirm your way out.
Is that acrobatics again?
It would be roll a. Yeah, it would be your acrobatics versus Reginald's athletic.
No disadvantage. No disadvantage.
No disadvantage.
18. They match. Do I lose?
You do feel yourself like move slight. You almost managed to break free, but then at the last second, the grip tightens and he yanks back further. Close. Try again. With that, he inches your face closer to the ground. If your face touches the ground, that means you're dead. Don't let it touch the ground.
Oh.
Hey, you never know. You could roll a 1.
Plus 8. He has to roll a 4 or lower for that to win. I'm dead.
Your face is now 3 inches. You can go again.
God fucking damn it. Come on. Oh, no. Literally the only way I can win is if he rolls 1. I'm dead.
2.
I'm 2 inches from the ground?
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
so
moving you at an inch.
Right, he's trying to teach me something, so he's giving me every opportunity.
That, and he kind of thinks you're a bit of a scrub.
Woohoo!
You managed to break out, and you nearly hit, but you managed to almost one-hand spring off the ground and move.
Yeah, my one-handed push-ups are finally coming to fruition.
Unfortunately, the moment you land, he does that hand motion again, and wisdom saving throw.
Fuck.
The world's swimming. He walks up and tries to restrain you again.
I have disadvantage on the acrobatics now.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter, that's a
failed.
natural 1.
You fall over.
No, that's him.
Yeah, no, you fall over and immediately spring back up, but you were out of his reach.
Do I even have to roll
You're
acrobatics for
you're
that?
basically drunk on, yeah, no.
I mean, there's a lot of pictures around of her with your friend Sakamoto.
But
Whatever.
yeah. Well, since that didn't work, he's going to attack and try to sweep your legs out.
Okay. Misses. Misses.
And again.
Hits.
He managed to get to your side and sweeps your legs out from under you when you fall, and you're falling onto your back. Roll a Constitution save.
That's a natural 1.
The air is knocked out of your lungs, and you're left gasping for air. The world stops swimming, and you see Reginald leaning over you. Well, you lasted longer than I expected. Come on, let's get you up. And he pulls you up.
As they almost always do.
You're nowhere near skilled enough for me to be able to teach you any of the more important techniques I can impart upon you, but I can teach you something I somewhat was able to create on my own. I'm sure you've felt its effect a few times.
North Dakota State University. Oregon. South Carolina.
I assume I'm still gasping for air.
No, now you're like just breathing heavily. You're standing up and just like slouched and like hunched over, hands on your knees, just like gasping.
Hands on your knees. Hands on your knees.
He like just kind of rubs your back to get you to start breathing again. And you get up, and Reginald is looking at you as if you were a sort of a lump of clay, I guess would be the best way. And he was an artist. And he's deciding how to best shape you. But, well, with the time we have left, I can teach you at least one thing. So, essentially, he's going to teach you the same technique. And it's known as poisoned gleam.
What?
It's a technique that expends one key point, and it requires the enemy to A, not be blind and have direct line of sight to you. They make a wisdom saving throw. It is 10 plus your wisdom modifier plus your proficiency bonus. If they fail, they have disadvantage on all attacks for the next round. If they succeed, nothing happens. Over the course, roll a d20.
14.
Over the course of the week, you begin to... He teaches you the very basics. He teaches you how to make ice cream. No. He teaches you how to perform this technique. You're by no way at his level, and for you, it only has a range of 30 feet. But with more practice, you'll be able to get it to basically be in infinite range, which was what he has it at. But this takes over the course of the week. Anyways, you head back to bed.
I'm gonna need you to send me this thing later.
I will. But sake of levity, because actually I think we can end it at 9:30 tonight, guys, because I need to handle a few things before I get ready for work. But to make sanity's sake for a bit more of a time crunching, we're going to fast forward through the next 5 days. What do you guys want to do? Yeah, over the course of the 5 days, what do you want to accomplish? Elizabeth, we'll start with you.
I was gonna go fight over in the
All right, roll the d20 and add your strength. You actually gain quite a bit of experience from it. You in no ways make advancements towards being a monk of any kind, but you do learn quite a good amount of unarmed combat, how to fight with no armor, and how to best comprehend your defenses. It's a good experience, and you actually earn quite a bit of gold. You earn, let's see, rolling for it. $220 gold from people betting on you.
okay.
You also earn a few good bruises and cuts, but it's a fun experience for you. You just get to beat people up. Jing, what do you want to do?
I basically go fill a role at my family's job to make a little money on the
All
side.
right. You earn
Ooh, 10. Yay, intelligence.
You earn 330 gold over the course of the 5 days. Mostly because Lucy is really cute and earns a lot of tips. Rainer,
Cha-ching.
what do you want to do?
Welcome to the family, the Chevy family. Get the Chevy employee.
I'm just going to keep practicing this new technique and trying to hone myself to not freak out, because this is probably going to have a lot of women that he's not familiar with. He's probably going to be scared if he doesn't try to hone himself.
How exactly? All right, so roll an intelligence check, because this is going to see how you try and go about attempting to desensitize yourself.
That's a 3.
You simply try and be as close to Lisa at all times as you can.
Oh, shit.
You don't tell her why. You do engage in conversation. You just don't tell her why you're doing this. You just are close to her. As in, she does not go 3 feet without you following.
That's a little creepy.
Roll an insight check, though.
That's natural 1.
She's either nauseous or... Yeah, nauseous. She might have ate something weird.
My original thought was going to try to talk to Lisa, but I don't think we have time for that right now.
Yeah, no. But...
Yeah, it doesn't work.
No, it works. You're at least a little bit more comfortable around Lisa. Just not any other women. You suppose that's a step?
I know I'm going to regret this. If I'm standing that close to Lisa, where the fuck are her friends?
They're with her too. So, in a way, you also get used to her friends. Surprisingly, you don't learn their names. Somehow.
Actually, yeah, that's a good question. Why wouldn't Lisa introduce me to them?
You never asked her to.
Point.
But, so it's... The day before, you're all taken out early of whatever things you were doing and taken to a tailor by... God, I already need to look up names again.
You need to send us all these names too eventually.
They're in articles. They're in handouts.
Oh, he made names.
Yes. It's, yes, Zayla. She takes all 3 of you to a tailor and paying a sum of money that makes most of your eyes bulge, specifically 4,500, she has suits made for you in a day.
Holy shit. Also, that is not the last name of Lisa I was given before.
It was the one I thought up, but give me that one again and I'll change it.
It's like Alistred. Alstrarea. That was the name you gave me. I can change it if you decide that that's the real one.
Yeah, no, Suncell is the real name. Oh, yeah, no, she would have been traveling under a pseudonym before, because...
How would I found her house, then?
You know,
That wasn't her house.
you just looked for where she was living. But yeah, no, Suncell is the family's name.
Also, if she was writing her last name with my name in her little heart diary, would that have been
You would have
Suncell?
seen S, yeah.
Yeah.
It was initial, so just LS. But
Alright, sorry. Continuity rewrites.
yes, I am the god, so I decided in Israel. Do not argue with me on this. Anyways, moving on.
So we're basically escorts for this mission.
Pretty much. Elizabeth, you're assigned to Sandra, the older sister.
The one that was giving her the eye?
Pretty much, yeah. And actually, guys, for the sake of sanity, after I say the assignments and that, can we just end for the night? Because I'm gonna get some rest.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm fine ending it at 9.
You guys good with it?
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm good.
Yeah, this is a couple of episodes of build up. Things might get serious next one, but Jing, you did manage to get your mom to babysit Lucy. It was a hell of a lot easier than you thought. Because for some reason your mom gets happy whenever Lucy's around, which again, it's
Grandkids.
kind of odd for you, seeing her happy. Or at least giddy with joy. But you're assigned to Azela. And Rainer,
Oh, God.
you're assigned to Lisa.
Oh, boy.
Roll another insight check real quick. Well, actually, all three of you roll insight checks to see if you can figure out how your...
That's 12.
Rainer, it looks like Lisa's very excited about this. And it looks like she's trying to contain something. Jing? You really can't read the woman. She's essentially your mom, except instead of a constant frown, it's more just a neutral expression. Though there is a sense of elegance to it. Elizabeth? You're pretty sure Sandra's checking out your ass. Every time you try and confront her about it, she just plays innocent, but every time you turn around out of the peripherals, you swear she's immediately going back to appraising it. That is where we will end it for tonight.
Oh, my God.
I don't think I can top that moment in the next 5 minutes.
Nope.
Night, guys.
All right.